It's the Social Oddities Podcast, coming at you from 5 parts of the UK, all for one reason: the amazing world of wrestling.
I've never seen a crowd so fired up, JR. They know what's coming next. They can't wait to get started, and neither can I.
Welcome everybody to episode 8 of the Social Oddities Podcast. I am joined this week by Adam, Chris and Kev. Say hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi guys.
There's no Rach this week, she might be back next week, but this will be our Payback preview show. So Payback in a few days time, so we'll quickly run down the card and then we'll talk about Raw and Smackdown this week at the end of the show as well. So to start with, just a bit of a mention of our social media, so you can get in touch with us on Twitter at TSO_podcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/the Social Oddities Podcast, or on our fancy new redesigned website at thesocialoddities.co.uk. So get in touch, give us your comments, thoughts, and we will talk about anything you want us to over the next few weeks. So so let's go about Payback then. Raw pay-per-view. So it's the second Raw pay-per-view in a row, which is a bit strange.
Yeah, Raw pay-per-view with Smackdown guys.
Yeah, like you mentioned last week, I think they've made a slight mess of this from the shakedown thing, whatever it's called.
Complete fucking arsehole of this.
But let's start from the top then, the pre-show. So this was announced on Raw this week. So we got the first time ever match, or the 55-time match, or just this has gone on forever. This is the Enzo and Cass against Gallows and Anderson. Who hasn't seen this match yet?
Me.
Oh God, they've just been doing it every week, haven't they, for what feels like my entire life.
I was going to say, apparently Adam's been sleeping for the last 6 months if he's not seen this match before.
Is anybody even slightly interested in this match anymore?
Meh.
No.
No, okay.
I'm more interested in the Miz TV thing with Finn Balor, to be fair.
Yeah, so have you got any thoughts on what might be happening? Just a chat, or do you reckon there'd be any sort of announcement or any sort of interruption with anybody? Or
I think moving forward he's going to feud with Wyatt. So I could see maybe something happening, maybe Wyatt appears and gives him Sister Abigail or something like that, I don't know. Then something happens later on in the match with Orton where Balor appears and interferes in that match or something, just to further that feud going forward.
So, Adam, what do you think about Balor? Because I know he got injured a few weeks ago with Jinder, but since he's returned, he hasn't really done an awful lot. I know they've been trying to maybe introduce him slowly, but he hasn't really gone straight back into the main event picture. He's been pretty low key since he's returned.
Yeah, but I just don't know who's he gonna feud with at the minute.
Have you seen his Twitter recently? He's had a thing up saying if you need a partner, call 1-800-FIN-FIN-FIN.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Finn Balor, tag team partner for hire.
Kind of seems to be drifting a little bit.
Yeah, but then what's he going to fight for? There's no title.
Well, no, yeah. So, tell you what, let's have a quick tangent for a second, because I know we talked about it in our Mania show, but now we've had a few weeks to digest. What do we think about Brock as the champion? Because I was thinking this earlier, when he returns, whenever that music plays, it's going to get a huge reaction. Him disappearing kind of makes him a bigger star, because it's so rare when he turns up, and as I said, the music will get a pop when he turns up. Whoever he turns up against knows they're in trouble, and it creates that aura around him. Is that necessarily a bad thing?
I just like seeing the title actually on TV and defended.
Yeah.
Does it not make it more special?
It doesn't make the title more special, no.
It makes his appearance more special, but then the title's not been on TV, so it's like, why should we care about it? If we don't see it, don't see the title and defended, then what makes it? I don't know. Why should we care?
Because obviously there's no title match at Payback, and we don't think there will be one for a couple of weeks. So picking the main event of this pay-per-view is fairly tricky.
Reigns Strowman. If Reigns is on the card, Reigns is the main event.
Even those two aren't really fighting for anything, are they? Really, they're just fighting because they don't like each other. But they're not really fighting towards anything.
I think
the winner maybe goes forward and becomes number one contender. They should announce that the number one contender match, really. But yeah, what you got to say, Adam?
I'm saying that's the way I was going to say it. The winner then is probably going to be seen as the number one contender going into SummerSlam.
So SummerSlam. What's that? August, July? That's what 3-4 months away.
Yeah, but
what's the pay-per-view before that? So
Yeah, but the problem is that's probably the next time the title's going to be defended.
So I think they've got a big problem generally with the next couple of pay-per-views because Raw have probably got this one and then I guess another 2 before the end of August. Maybe definitely another 1. So they're going to have to keep filling those shows with main events that have to be special in some way without the title. So I think they're going to have to really think about how they fill those shows.
Be gimmick pay-per-views or something, gimmick main events or something, just to make it seem a bit more special, maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, that's a Smackdown one. Money in the Bank's Smackdown in it, I think.
Yeah. So
well, we should talk about those pay-per-views when we get there. But so the pre-show is, as we said, Enzo Cass and Gallows Anderson, and that Miz TV, which I think will probably be better than that match. So moving into the main show.
Again, the Miz, sort of just before we go into that, the Miz has been good since he went to Raw as well. The guy's just on fire just now, even though he doesn't get an awful lot of wins. But I think the guy's doing some of the best work of his career, if not the best work of his career. Big fan. Yeah,
definitely. I think him and Jericho together was always going to be gold. And even my dislike of Ambrose, I thought Ambrose was actually pretty decent up against the Miz as well. And I think the Miz is just dragging people up to his level at the moment.
He just, as a promo guy, I think he's one of the best I've got. The guy's just a really, really, really good talker, and it does elevate people that's in the ring with him as well. Kind of like, well, I'll get to it later on, obviously, but Alexa Bliss as well. So just a good talker, great on the mic.
So do you think it's a shame that the Miz isn't on a match on this pay-per-view? I know he's doing his little segment with Balor, but he's a fairly big star. A big move from
what's
SmackDown.
To say that doesn't turn into a match?
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe something happens and then they turn it into a match on the main show.
I could see them now. It's contradicting what I just said about 5 minutes ago, but I could see them doing that as well. So, but then again, this is WWE booking. They probably won't book it until like the night of the show. So,
yeah, it's slightly messy because I'm struggling to pick an order of the main show, to be honest, because there's a bunch of matches that all seem at the same level as each other. So I'll just do it in a random order. But Hardy Boys against Cesaro and Sheamus. I guess that could be the first matches.
It's a good way to start it, I suppose.
Yeah, I can see the Hardys winning again.
I think they will.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
I think Hardys will win, and Sheamus and Cesaro could go heel.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Post-match.
Going heel.
The past couple of weeks, they've done the handshakes and things like that, so telltale sign if they're going to turn heel.
So maybe there's a post-match beatdown after the Hardy Boys beat them and they just kind of lose their heads a bit because they've been losing so much lately and they attack them again.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question. I know we've mentioned it a few times and you know my thoughts on them, but did the Hardys need to come back? Like, does that division need them?
Yes.
So if it does, they won't be splitting up anytime soon then?
It depends, I think.
It depends on WWE, doesn't it?
Like, if that division needed them so much that they brought them back, because there's a bunch of other, younger teams that they could have pushed. They brought them back, made a big deal of it. They can't split them up soon, can they? Otherwise, there's no point in bringing them back at all.
I think they will split them up. I'm sticking with my thoughts that they're going to give Jeff a singles run, and which means they'll obviously give Matt a singles run as well. And because they are working with people like lawyers and everything to try and get the rights to the Broken Brilliance gimmick. So I think once they've got that, whether it's maybe 2, 3, 5, 6 months down the line, then that's when you'll slowly see them doing it. Maybe the Hardy Boys losing the titles is the thing that triggers it in Matt's head or something, but he then kind of flips and goes broken again.
But the thing is, Matt's always the one that turns on Jeff. I think he's done it about 15 times now, hasn't he? Because
Jeff's he's the perennial babyface, isn't he?
Well, yeah. It'd actually be cool to see Jeff turn this time.
Yeah, I don't see Jeff as, if they do it, fair enough. Yeah, I just don't see Jeff as a heel. He's done it before in his career, and I don't think it's really worked.
Mm.
But Matt does look like the evil heel, doesn't he? To be fair, with his look at the moment,
with the white streak in his hair and everything.
Yeah,
like that. These facial expressions. Yeah, but then he's still going to get cheered because of the gimmick so over. So what's to say he doesn't flip, but he still stays face? That could still happen.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm still really struggling. I'm really struggling to care about them.
No.
It's the Hardys. They're still good to see, aren't they? So,
they get a nostalgia pop, yeah, fine. But there must be a sizable part of the audience that just watches WWE, doesn't really care what happened in TNA, knows about the gimmick, but doesn't really care about it.
But then they still know who the Hardys are, though. Even
and they get a nostalgic pop, which will, I think, fade pretty quick.
No, I can't see it. They're still so popular.
The Dudleys were popular, and they got a massive pop when they returned, and it faded in about a month.
Yeah, but they weren't really booked that well, were they?
No, but, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me, but I'm really struggling to just care about them at all.
You are so negative all the time.
there's a lot of people that I care about right now, but they're not one of them.
Am I one of them?
Well, since you've turned up twice in a row, then yeah, you definitely are.
A new record.
It's the new streak, isn't it? I'm well impressed.
Let's see if you can get to 22-0.
So what's this? This is episode 8. So I think you're about.
I think I've done 5.
Is it 5-3? So you're still winning the game. Okay,
yeah.
Not bad.
The streak lives.
Yeah. If we're gonna, so you reckon Cesaro, Sheamus? There's a chance of them.
Yeah.
Splitting up. So
no, not splitting up.
I don't think it's splitting up. Just I think they could go heel.
Yeah.
So
I think
them together, is that the best place for them?
The best place for Cesaro would be single on SmackDown, but
that's not going to happen.
No, I think I agree. Yeah, definitely.
But that's not going to happen. So the best place for him if he's on Raw is with Sheamus and a tag team, because he's getting a little bit of a spotlight in that tag team. If he goes single, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. So being negative. I used to not care about Cesaro and Sheamus at all. They're just whatever. They were two people that I liked that shouldn't have been together, and I was like, oh, when's Cesaro going to get his push? And I didn't really care about them as a team at all. And last couple of weeks, probably since Mania, maybe a week before Mania, I started to care about them a lot more. I'm not quite sure what they've done differently. Was it since you started hearing the Do Sheamus and Cesaro song?
I think it might have been listening to you sing, actually. That might be what it was. That's the way to get people over. Maybe everybody needs a song.
There's nothing wrong with singing songs, and as long as you're singing for the person that's actually in the ring.
So moving on from the tag match, then let's watch. There's another Neville and Aries match. Now,
the first one was good.
First one was good. I think it didn't help us on the pre-show, but even for a pre-show match, it was probably the best pre-show match. We talked about this before Mania, about Neville probably holding on to this title for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
Does it damage Aries to lose a couple of times in a row to him?
I was going to say Aries is that good that he's believable as a number one contender. All he has to do is win another couple of matches and you believe him again. He's a recognised name to a lot of people, so I don't think it will damage him that much. But Neville should win, and Neville should hold the title for a little while.
I was hoping for a bit of a gimmick with this one, to be fair, because they had a singles match at Mania. Maybe people didn't see it, but they had a singles match. A gimmick or something would have worked well for this.
What kind of gimmick would have worked?
I don't know. Obviously, a ladder's been done recently, and it's a bit too obvious. But they could have had, I don't know, a submission match. I don't know, something a bit different, because it's, just a straightforward match. You see it all the time, pretty much. But if they would have had a bit of a twist to it, then they could have gone in a slightly different direction with it. But
I think this match is going to end, and I think this could be quite an obvious choice, but it could end with TJ Perkins interfering. Maybe Austin Aries has got Neville beat and TJ Perkins interferes to get a disqualification, and Neville keeps the title, which then maybe leads to another match on Raw or in a week or two, or even 205 Live, where it's maybe a steel cage match to try and keep TJ Perkins out. So that way you're kind of got a natural progression of the storyline where you're trying to keep the guy from coming into the ring and everything, so it gives it that little bit of closure.
Do we sign him up?
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. They need to. I think better stories would get me far more involved in the cruiserweights, and I think, having something like that would work pretty well.
If you put a match up like that on 205 Live, it then brings people over to watch 205 Live because they might be invested more in that story as well. So that could be something to do.
Is there any match that you're actually impressed in? Looking forward to, Damien?
Yeah, and I think Owens Jericho again. It doesn't matter how many times they've had that match. I'd watch Owens Jericho all day. I'm kind of oddly intrigued by what they're going to do with this House of Horrors thing, because I think Michael Cole made it sound like they're starting off somewhere and then they'll make their way towards the ring. So kind of like a bit of a boiler room brawl type thing. I was thinking,
like a fun house, like a weird wrestling fun house.
Wrestling, well, yeah.
They're gonna
hosted by Pat Sharp. Yeah, that's.
And the twins are there. I'm watching.
They must be like 40 now.
I seen a picture of them not too long ago. They still look fucking good.
Why am I not surprised you've seen a picture not too long ago?
It was on Facebook. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So, do we have any imaginings as to what this match is going to be? Is there going to be any sort of Inferno type stuff with the fire? What do we think this is going to be? Is it going to be an absolute mess, or do you think they've actually thought this through?
They'd probably figure it out on the night.
It's going to be like an art attack thing, isn't it? They turn up going, well, we've got a room. Can you make a match out of like 3 sticks and some PVA glue? Can you make a match out of it? That'd be something. I'm not sure they know what they're doing, do they?
If they've got like a bust of that guy that just kind of talks to you there in the ring, that I'm sold on that one already.
See, for any non-UK people over the age of about 30, no one's going to really understand that reference. So, if anybody wants to see the art attack bust, we can put it on our Twitter.
Fucking genius. Let's hope this guy turns up at the House of Horrors picture. But
so surely
that match is going to be.
Wyatt has to win his own match, doesn't he? If Wyatt loses his own match, after losing for the last 20 years, or however long he's been losing for, he can't lose his own match and keep his mystique alive. He's got to win this.
He's got to.
Obviously, they've subtly made this non-title now as well. So surely Wyatt's winning that. What do you think? Because he's got to win a match at some point, doesn't he?
I'm going to say Orton wins because they want the champion looking strong.
But then if Orton wins, why not just make it for the title?
Well, yeah. No, I'm going to say Orton still wins.
No, I think Orton will win as well. I just don't get why they took the title off the match if Orton was going to win anyway, so it makes no difference.
If Orton is winning Wyatt's match that he doesn't know anything about beforehand, that Wyatt is pre-planned, it's not even for the title, and if Orton still wins, Wyatt may as well just go home.
But he can't go home because he got burnt down.
That's true. Yeah,
you can't go home to your fucking shed because it's ash now.
To be fair, is the reason this is non-title because Jinder has stolen it and won't give it back?
Jinder's hindering the title matches.
Dear God.
But also, I might have to cut this out because I'm not entirely sure how racist this is, but a lot of people on Twitter are saying that his finishing move should be the Tikka Slam. It's just cheered me up a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with that. A curry was invented in England, though, right?
I reckon they're going to go with it as well. I'd like Jinder a lot more if he did that.
I don't think that really fits his heel character that well, does it?
No.
So what do we see Jinder doing on this pay-per-view?
Getting beaten, then fading off to the line.
He's not going to be on this pay-per-view.
No, it's not. Yeah, sort of. What do you mean? Like, well, to be fair, we don't know what WWE are doing. Anybody's all over the place at the moment, but because Orton's there and Jinder has his title, a few people have sent some comments in about Jinder could turn up and distract Orton, and it builds that match and it lets Wyatt have a win. Do we see Jinder turning up at all?
I don't, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they might debut Sister Abigail.
You've been saying that for months now.
I think since he came on the scene, Sister Abigail's coming this pay-per-view.
If Sister Abigail turns up and it's actually Kev, you've played this well.
But that's almost as bad as almost as bad as Hornswoggle being the general manager.
Oh, that's harsh.
Leave us shorties alone.
So if anyone doesn't know, then if you have a look at the About Us page on our website, then you'll see on Kev's picture there's someone sitting down on a chair and Kev's actually standing up.
And he's still shorter.
And they're still the same size.
It sounds like he's crying. It's all right, Kev. We don't really mean it.
Do you want me to send you the picture with Drew? He's like 10 foot compared to us.
Oh dear God, I can just think of that now.
It's like that picture. Has anybody seen that picture of that child meeting Andre the Giant? It'd be just like that. Right, so we think Orton Wyatt is going to be a slight mess again. It was a mess at Mania. Wyatt got made to look a bit silly. The effects were weird. Don't know what that match was about. Do we see this being good, or do we see it being an absolute mess?
An absolute mess.
Clusterfuck.
Brilliant. Well, that's something to look forward to. Right, let's move on then. Let's do Rollins and Joe.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah, actually, let's go back to Adam's point. This is another match I'm looking forward to. I think.
No, 2 matches.
Well, no, because we've got a couple more as well, so I might get to some others. But
Christ, we've had Adam on for 2 weeks in a row, and Damien's looking forward to 2 matches already. My God, it's the end of the world.
Well, it might be 3 or 4 by the end. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Rollins and Joe. Two guys I'm a big fan of. Since we're talking Rollins, I think Austin had a podcast recently, didn't he? Or he was talking to Rollins or about Rollins somewhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the context was. I actually missed it. But I heard his comments. He was saying Rollins is basically drifting, isn't he? Or hasn't got any character or personality. Would you agree?
What he's basically saying that he's over, but not as over as he thinks he is, or something along those lines.
He's still got work to do, basically.
Yeah.
So what do we all think of Rollins? Like, has anybody got any thoughts on him at all? Because he's clearly the standout wrestler on a lot of shows, but
I think he needs to get over his injuries, have a good solid run with a title, and then he'll be over. Because every time he gets there, he gets injured again.
But then he's not going to have a run with the title because where is the title?
Well, yeah. So he's still young enough. He's still young enough to have a run in, say, a year.
But do you think he's now going to suffer from the Brock problem that him, Joe, Reigns, Strowman, all these people have just got to aimlessly fight amongst themselves, waiting for Brock to turn up?
It's like, really, what are they fighting for?
Yeah. So I think aimless probably sums up Rollins at the moment. You know, for me at the moment, I'd watch him all day. I think he's great, but I don't actually know what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, the match will be good. It's obviously, I've used this before already, but natural progression, the storyline is that Joe's now coming after him after Rollins beats Triple H and puts Triple H out on the shelf for a wee bit. But where does it go from here? If Rollins wins, where does Joe go?
They've got that many big names now. They don't know what to do with them.
Which is why I think I was crying out for a bit of a group. I know Triple H was always going to leave TV after Mania, but some sort of group would have freshened things up a little bit. At the moment, it's kind of just 4 or 5 individuals just aimlessly fighting amongst themselves, not going anywhere. A group at least would have, they could have got a couple of months worth of stories out of that.
Something to put a bit of a focus on. The focus right now is on Strowman, to be fair, but
because I think I agree with you. Rollins has beaten Triple H, the guy that put him out. He might beat his enforcer at Payback, so he's got rid of all of that story. And then what?
Yeah, where does he go from there?
Surely Joe has to win this, otherwise the story's done and dusted, and there's nothing else to do.
But then they are dead set on obviously building Rollins up to be the face maybe behind Reigns, which is, I'm not even going to get into that just now, but we all know what I think of that one. But it's like you said, where does he go? Who does he go for next? There isn't anything there.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, I actually rewatched his Triple H match at Mania today, and it was a great match, and the story that built up to it was pretty good. But I was like, this guy pretty much could have been your career. He cost you almost not going to Mania for the second time in a row, and he built up this whole emotional thing about it. And then he came into Mania looking for this revenge, and he beat Triple H, and that was the end of it. I was like, well, not much of a revenge, is it? Just winning a match. I thought at least he would have gone after, like, he wants to take the WWE away from Triple H. He wants to take him out of power. He wants to do something major, and he just sort of beat him in a match. And then that was like, okay, that's not done now. So I didn't feel big enough.
I think hindsight now, obviously, I think I said this before WrestleMania, but Triple H should have won at WrestleMania, and they could have quite easily played it on the fact that Rollins has got an injury. He wasn't 100%, and he just came up short. He took Triple H as far as he could go and just fell short. Then you have your rematch at SummerSlam where people can say Rollins is now 100% and they can build towards that. That kind of gives Rollins a focus. But obviously they went another way. So, and now he beats Joe. What's his focus after that?
So do you think he beats Joe then? At the end of this show we might have a quick round table of predictions. But do you think he you think he beats Joe clean?
Yes.
That's a big thing for Joe to lose clean. He came in as this kind of monster that to lose clean is kind of takes a bit of a shine off him a little bit, doesn't it?
I just think that's the way they're going to go. What do you guys think?
I was going to say to Adam and Kev, what's next for Joe then?
I think he's going to win. It's Rollins, but I don't know. I think Joe could probably go in a stable with somebody.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to win, but I really haven't a clue where they go after it.
Because Joe and Owens could have done something, and obviously they've moved Owens away, so Joe's on his own now.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting who's. Sorry, I hesitated there because I keep forgetting who's going because Owens is on this show, isn't he? Which has confused me slightly. But so Joe's sort of on his own now. There's no Triple H. There's no Owens.
I love the idea that someone brought up a few weeks ago of having. It can't happen now, obviously, because of the Superstar shake-up. But Small Joe, Kevin Owens, and the Revival in a stable. I just think that would have been a great idea.
So all of those people now, Triple H is gone, Owens is gone, the Revival are out injured for a month or two, or a couple of months.
Couple of months, yeah.
So Joe's on his own now, about to lose a match to Rollins probably, and he's got nowhere to go, is he?
I'm just thinking who he might actually feud with next. I mean,
he could go to Strowman. He could go to
Strowman's.
He could go to Balor.
I would like to see him go against Ambrose for the IC title.
That'd be okay.
Yeah, he could get.
He could something there. Different. Where I don't know, Ambrose has turned into a bit of a joke character at the minute. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ambrose.
I'm a fan of serious Ambrose, not jokey Ambrose.
Yeah, it's sort of like they need someone serious to come and kick him into shape, and like sort of bring a bit of prestige back to the IC title.
Well, they could definitely do an Ambrose Lesnar, but better with Joe. Like the whole point of that was to make Ambrose the underdog, and he always fights back. They could do that better now with Joe.
Yeah, well, we know how that one turned out last year at WrestleMania, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think the general story, they could repeat that general story with Joe, and it would come out a lot better. Joe's a perfect bully.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, this is probably a general problem, isn't it? The WWE at the moment has the best roster I can probably ever imagine them having. And it feels like the stories are the weakest they've ever been. There's no sort of set plan, or there's no big overarching story that's going to last the rest of the year. At the moment, it feels like nobody really knows where it's going, which the whole point of watching wrestling is you get invested in the stories, and I've no idea what the story is. So yeah. Hopefully they'll pull something out of the bag, and they'll set up a story, even if it's an obvious story. I don't mind that, you know. When you watch a film, you know what the story's going to be, and you watch it because you know what the story is, and you want to see what happens. I have no idea what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not going to tell WWE how to book things. I mean,
I think someone should.
But why do they book things the way they're booking them now? Just now, where it's like, right, we'll turn up on Monday, we'll write the show. We don't know what's going to happen until we turn up. Write the story back to front. Say, this is the end goal. How do we get there? I mean, you book it back to front.
We'll just write the next 6 months. You can write the next, I'm pretty sure people on soaps write the next 6 months out and then just get there.
Yeah, like after WrestleMania, you say, right, what's our SummerSlam main event? Our SummerSlam main event or main events will be X, Y, and Z. How do we get there? And then you book it. Yeah, that's the matches you're going to have. Then you book it from there to that match. Back to front booking's always worked out the best way to do it. Now there is obviously things that can change that as well, like injuries or whatever. But then you've then got to book it on the fly. But
yeah, well, that's enough of us being grumpy. I've got the perfect match for you, Chris, to rebuild your spirits. Coming up next is Bayley and Alexa.
Oh,
yeah. So I think we'll give Chris a minute. Adam and Kev, I know you got different thoughts on Bayley and Alexa now, but the last 3-4 weeks, Alexa's overtaken Bayley for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it didn't take much for her to overtake her for me, to be honest. But
No, I'm not a massive Bayley fan, and I think me and Chris are probably the two biggest ones, but even I'm getting slightly annoyed with where Bayley is right now, and Alexa is awesome at what she does.
Yeah, I 100% think Alexa's winning on Sunday.
Yeah,
really?
I agree.
Beating Bayley in her hometown.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's in San Jose. I can't see Bayley losing.
What? Because WWE never let their hometown person lose.
They wouldn't let their biggest female baby face lose.
I'm going to agree with Adam.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I really can't. I don't know. I think they're going to keep on Bailey for a while.
I just think, I don't know, I don't know what I want to say. I want Bailey to have a long, meaningful title reign, but I think it'd be better if she's chasing the title. If you make her try and book her back like that underdog, so she then has to scratch and claw and fight her way back up to the title, and then when she does win it, it means more.
So the assumption that we've been working off that Bailey is going to defend the title against Sasha at SummerSlam, you see that not happening now?
I could see it not happening.
She could win it back before SummerSlam.
She could. I think she. To me personally, I think she keeps hold of it. I think Sasha probably interferes. I don't know. If it was me, I'd have Sasha interfere and help Bailey win, and then turn on her.
Well, maybe Sasha costs Bailey the title.
For me, I do the old.
Maybe
I do the old. There was an old Owen Hart King of the Ring win where he would interfere in Brett's matches and keep the title on Brett because he's the one who he wanted to beat. I could see Sasha coming down, helping Bailey win, and then turning heel on her and saying the only reason I helped you out was because you're the one that I want to beat for it. I think if they do that, a story like that, it could work a bit better. 'Cause I think Bailey Sasha is the match that people have been waiting for now for a while.
And we know how good that match can be because I've done it a few times already, so it is a great match.
Because you've seen more the last couple of weeks. And I think even you as a Bailey fan have started to hear the crowd slightly get a bit sick of it. And if they wait for the Bailey Sasha match any longer, they run the risk of the crowd just not caring.
For me, you guys know I'm a massive Bailey fan, and in the ring I think she's great, but promo-wise she's lacking. I admit that.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it comes across like she is reading off a script. She's read it beforehand, she's memorised her lines, and it comes off quite robotic. But Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, is just fucking awesome. Like, her facial expressions, her promos and everything, she's fucking great.
Yeah, I think she's great on mic, but like you said, she's got to work a bit in the ring.
In ring, she's got to work, yes, but on the mic, she's great. For me, in ring, Bailey's great, but on the mic, she needs to work. So stick those two together and make one wrestler out of two of them. You've got something really special there.
Yeah, you just want both of them together, Chris, to be honest.
I'm saying nothing.
And that's in a different way.
So I think this is another match I'm looking forward to. So I'm up to 3 now.
I'm looking forward to see what they do with it, because I think they could do something really good.
Yeah.
Which means they probably won't.
Yeah, they'll get 2 minutes.
I think we've had enough negativity from us. I think we're going to rely on Adam and Kev now to up this a little bit. So what's left? What have I missed out? I've missed out Reigns and Strowman.
Oh, you've left the best to last.
I have. So
is this actually an ambulance match, or is that just something I heard?
It should be something where Roman Reigns actually leaves in an ambulance.
Yeah.
I honestly think this is going to be the most boring match of the night.
Well, Strowman's been pretty awesome, actually, to be fair, the last couple of weeks. We should probably give him some credit for that.
There's nothing against Strowman. It's the actual crowd what's going to, I think, spoil it.
Because the crowd are just going to shit on Reigns again, aren't they?
Exactly. So that means the fans at home is going to get the booing and, I'm not interested in this now, sort of the knock-on effect.
So Reigns is winning, we all assume?
I'm going to go Strowman.
Strowman.
Yeah?
I think I'm going
Not
Strowman.
clean then, I guess?
Yeah, clean.
You think Reigns loses clean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot see that happening at all. Because he's the eventual guy that's going to go up against Lesnar, isn't he? So you need him strong. I know he's super strong right now, but I can't see him losing totally clean.
Do you not think Strowman's going to go up against Lesnar first? So they're having to build up Strowman first to be fed to Lesnar.
Possibly.
He's going to go up against him at SummerSlam, I think.
Possibly, but I don't think you'd sacrifice Reigns for that.
Nah, fuck it.
But for one match, they would.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong. It's all about making Reigns look strong, but still.
I don't know, I could totally see Reigns just coming in and dominating him and winning clean, and just to piss everybody off.
I could totally see them doing that, like to piss everybody off. But why the fuck do you want to keep alienating your fans like that? Apart from the fact that we'll still watch it and we'll still pay for the network, but that's a different story.
As long as Strowman says I'm not finished with you yet over and over again, I'll love it. he should just keep attacking him. Just turn up in his hotel room and attack him, and just everywhere he goes, just turn up and go, "I'm not finished with you yet," and just keep attacking him.
That should just be a recurring thing. He's on like the Today Show in America. I'm not finished with you yet, and attacks him just wherever he goes. I'd love that.
Well, they definitely should, and they definitely won't, which is so annoying.
He's out having dinner with his family. I'm not finished with you yet. Strowman turns up from nowhere.
It just sounds like a Family Guy running gag now, doesn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah. Where Strowman's the chicken and Roman Reigns is Peter.
Oh, they should definitely do that. But there's, to be fair, every Reigns match now. What would you do now to make the fans care about a Reigns match?
Turn him heel.
That's the only thing they should have done this months ago.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So are we not saying Strowman's a face right now? Strowman isn't exactly a massive heel. He's getting massive cheers.
Because he's fucking up Reigns.
So isn't Reigns a heel then, by default?
By default, yes, but in WWE creative minds, no.
So in their minds, this is a face versus heel the other way around.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Good. You're not helping me stay positive here.
WWE booking terms, it's face Roman Reigns against heel Strowman, but in the crowd's eyes, it's face Strowman against heel Reigns.
This is a weird pay-per-view, isn't it? This is an odd show.
It's a weird WWE.
So, again, we actually didn't speak about this, but I've just got the list of matches in front of me, making sure I didn't miss any out. And can I just go back for a second, because I still don't really understand the sort of stipulations of the Owens and Jericho match. I think that's the match. That's the match that we missed out. But if Jericho wins, he goes to SmackDown.
Yes.
If Owens wins, what happens to him?
He stays on SmackDown.
He stays on SmackDown. Right. Okay.
So whoever wins goes to SmackDown with the US title.
Because I'm pretty sure I understood that as the winner comes to SmackDown, the loser goes to Raw. But that might just be me again.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, but if Owens loses, then he doesn't go to Raw.
Owens is going to win
Owens
anyway.
loses, he goes back to Raw.
But he's going to win anyway, so.
So hang on, just so I'm clear. If Owens loses, he's back on Raw.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's the case. I think Owens stays on SmackDown no matter what.
No, because it was more a case of they drafted the title to SmackDown, wasn't it? It wasn't a case that they drafted Owens.
Well, I don't know.
So
I don't know what's going on. That's the reason I'm asking. Did they draft Owens?
Well, that's what they said at the start of the start of it. Is like your match with Chris Jericho will still happen, but if Jericho wins the title, Jericho comes over to SmackDown and you're back on Raw.
See, yeah, I didn't hear the last bit, which is why I got really confused.
So it's like the title comes to SmackDown and the champion comes to SmackDown, but the loser's on Raw. But for me, Owens is going to win that match anyway, so it doesn't.
Yeah, thank God for that, because my head would explode if Jericho won. I have no idea what's going on if Jericho won that, but yeah, thank God it's fairly obvious. I think Owens is retaining that.
But they're really pushing this new face of America type thing, that gimmick that he's got going as well, so that gives Owens a bit of a focus as well, so which is always a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm quite enjoying that as well. I always love Owens though, even though he does look a bit like James Corden now, which is really hard for me to unsee as well. I don't know who told me that, but thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but I just think I quite like him. I quite like any gimmick he's got. But like you said, it gives him some sort of focus, and it gives me a reason to want to watch him. Which, going back to Rollins at the moment, there's no reason for me to want to watch him apart from I know he's good in the ring. But in terms of like a story or like something to be entertained by, there's no real focus with him. But yeah, at least Owens has something. And
the fact that he's going to be going up against AJ moving forward as well, which is going to be fucking, no pun intended, but phenomenal.
You meant that pun.
And I was going to say fucking phenomenal. Then I realised what I was going to say and thought, well, I better get no pun intended in here. So
Owens AJ would be great.
Yep, totally. I'm really looking forward to that match whenever it does happen, which I'm assuming is going to be Backlash next month.
Because people mock Owens' size, but I tell you what, he can do. There's nothing he can't do. He'll jump up to the top rope from a standing place. There's nothing that he can't do. His athleticism is ridiculous.
I wish I was that agile, I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. So him and AJ would be great.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I think the two styles as well will really mix quite well. So, plus the two of them are just elite workers as well, aren't they? So
Kevin, Adam, then what do you think is going to be the match of the night then? Out of all the ones we've listed, I'm guessing Reigns Strowman won't beat it.
Neville Aries.
Reckon Neville Aries again.
Yeah.
For me, it'd probably be Rollins and Joe. I think they'll put on a good match.
Yeah, I think Rollins is great. Like I said, I watched his Mania match, and you could actually tell how ill he was as well. He wasn't just injured; he was ill coming into it. And for him to put on that length of a match, I think he powered his way through that really impressively. So I think he's obviously super talented and stuff. But yeah, hopefully something happens in that match to make me care about him a bit more. Because at the moment, I don't really. And again, that might just be me, but he's kind of just there. I don't really know what he's doing. So anything that makes me care about him a lot more will be fine by me.
Yeah, I'd agree. Rollins and Joe will be match of the night for me. I would have went Neville Aries, but I think there's going to be a screwy finish in that one, so that might hurt the match a little bit.
So that's our Payback preview done. So I think just before we end this week's podcast, we probably should talk about Smackdown this week. I know the Smackdown. When's Backlash? That's probably a couple of weeks away, isn't it? Towards the middle of May, I think.
21st of May, I want to say.
Was May, is it? Yeah, so it's still a couple of weeks away. But
check the calendar.
I had a few questions about Smackdown that you might be interested in, Chris. People have commented about Nakamura. So this is your cue to sing.
They're all fucking wrong.
yeah. I think you know what I'm going to say, but I think people obviously like to criticize, like I've done for basically the last hour. But no one is criticizing his in-ring at all. But now he's on a main event show, like a main roster show. He's not on NXT anymore, where you can get away with whatever, really. He's on SmackDown. His promo skills are not the best.
Mm-hmm. And English isn't his first language. What the fuck do you want from him?
Yeah, no, it's fine. But do you think...
Sorry, I'm getting defensive.
Do you think that's like... How dare you? Because the crowd started to turn slightly.
Just because English isn't his first language, that's not the greatest excuse. English isn't Kevin Owens' first language.
He's in more of an English-speaking country. Anyway, that's not the point.
I don't know if it was just the crowd at SmackDown, but a few people were getting little bit restless about his lack of promo against Ziggler. Ziggler just talked at him for about 10 minutes and then left.
Yeah, to be fair, the Ziggler promo kind of annoyed me.
Why? Because it was against your Bay?
No, it's because he was basically calling him Michael Jackson. I was like, fuck off. It's like, I used to like you, Ziggler, alright? In fact, I do actually like him. I think he's really good in the ring, but they just thought Ziggler's promo was a bit off. Nakamura's promo is basically what it needed to be.
This is probably the maximum he can do right now, Nakamura. And
his English isn't as bad as what you're thinking it is. He can talk English.
I think did we say this last week? He can speak it when it's off the cuff, but when he's trying to remember a script, it comes off a bit slow. Exactly.
So just let him off the hinges and just let him talk.
To be fair, if they were putting him in matches every week, I'd watch it and I'd have no complaints. But they're not. They're holding off on it for a month or so. So that means he's going to be doing promos for a month.
But they're making you wait for it, making the building up to it, so that way when he does have the match, it's more special. But he's still on the show at least.
I don't know. If I had a guy like Nakamura, I'd focus on his strengths and I wouldn't make him do promos for 6 weeks.
Nah.
I don't know. Like, I'm a massive fan of his, and his entrance will get him fans anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a wee bit.
And to be fair, there's a bunch of guys that promos aren't the best. Like, Balor's promos could be a bit hit and miss as well sometimes, but, he stays over. I think there's a slight risk with him.
Arseholes.
And I know we mentioned it last week about maybe giving him Paul Heyman, and you were pretty much against that.
Yep, still against that. I think it's a fucking shite idea.
There you go. There you go, Adam. You got told.
It doesn't need it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he doesn't need it now. But when the American crowd start going against him, what are they going to do then?
I think I'm with Adam on this. I think
because
no matter how good he is, I think in 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised if he's struggling.
He's not going to struggle.
Send him to Raw and let him beat up Roman Reigns. The crowd will love him again.
I'm sold on that idea.
Yeah, but he'll win in the end.
True story. Keep on SmackDown, away from Reigns.
Adam's point is valid, I think, because us guys here love Nakamura. We appreciate him for what he is. I'm not sure what the percentage of WWE fans are like us. I think a lot of guys prefer promos and like to get behind catchphrases, and they're kind of not simpler fans, but they just don't. They're not hardcore fans, and
they still want the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
he's already got a catchphrase, King is Strong style. It's simple. Stick it on a t-shirt and sell it.
No, he's the artist now, isn't he?
Oh, sorry, the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. That annoyed me. Because
So he's not Michael Jackson, he's Prince.
well, according to Ziggler, he's fucking Michael Jackson, but according to the comments, he's Prince. The fuck are they doing?
Well, we shall see. We shall probably revisit this in a few months and see how he's getting on. But
when Chris is crying because he's rude.
I'm only crying when he wins the title. That'll be fun.
So elsewhere on SmackDown,
I've not sang yet, so
no. Well, maybe at the end you can sing us out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind.
So I think another person that I was fairly negative about. I know that would take you by surprise, but
Shock horror.
yeah, it was Naomi.
Oh, yeah.
I know Rach isn't here to defend her, but that just means I can mock her more. Yeah. I was unsure whether she could match Charlotte. I thought she wasn't anywhere close to being good enough, but their match wasn't bad.
She kept up.
Yeah.
To be fair to her, she did keep up.
Yeah, but is that just more down to Charlotte than Naomi?
I
It
wouldn't
doesn't
say
matter. To be fair, it doesn't matter. She kept up, and it could have been all Charlotte, but you have to keep up as well.
I'm not Naomi's biggest fan. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Charlotte's the best woman they've got in the whole WWE. All-round woman. Anyway.
Definitely.
But Naomi went in there. She's kept up with Charlotte. It wasn't all Charlotte carrying Naomi, so I thought it was a really good match for the time they were given, at least.
I think obviously the ending of who was it? Natalia, Carmella, and
Tamina.
Oh, Tamina, yeah. Obviously they coming in and interfered. That kind of obviously ruined the ending a little bit. But yeah, the first sort of 10 minutes, pretty good.
Yeah, well, the match was about 10 minutes, wasn't it? So yeah, up until the finish, then yeah.
Speaking of the finish, does this mean Charlotte's now going to be a face?
It looks like they're going that way, yeah. Which I think is the wrong choice, but because I think she's better as a heel.
So who's the faces? Who's the face women on SmackDown? There's Naomi and
Becky.
And Becky, of course, yeah.
And now Charlotte.
Yeah. Then you've got Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina as the heels, or Carmellsworth, if you want to call them anything.
I was starting to get positive then. I was going to give I was going to give Naomi some credit, but I kind of was waiting for a Charlotte Becky match again. And if Charlotte's going to go face, then the only people she's got left to fight against is Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina, and I'm not overly interested in any of those matches.
Natalia Natalia and Charlotte would be a really good match. They've done it before, and they could have a really good match again. Go back and watch the matches in NXT.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah,
if you go back and watch it, I think it was 2014. Go back and watch those matches; they're really good.
Unless they're going to massively push Tamina.
No.
Oh. Okay, fair enough.
I'm against that one already. I'd rather see them bring Emma across to SmackDown, so they've got someone else on there instead of Tamina.
Yeah, I think they do need another good heel. I wonder what Bull Nakano's up to these days.
And there's your weekly Bill Nakano reference.
I was going to say, I've actually, I was thinking of you in the week, Adam, because
that's no surprise to me. You know.
No, I was thinking of you more this week because there's a petition on the. Might have even been the WWE website or quite a big wrestling website. There's a petition to get her in the Hall of Fame next year.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, I thought you'd be interested.
Yeah, I didn't actually start that petition.
Yeah, and they were listing out all of her achievements, and I thought actually it's not a bad choice, and I was gonna mention that to you. So
you weren't thinking about it that much to mention it, though.
No, I wasn't. No, I didn't want to encourage you. I thought you'd bring it up all by yourself.
I am Googling Bull Nakano petition right now.
But yeah, so you can look forward to that next year. But yeah, so what else happened on SmackDown? Quickly, just having a quick run through. I think
new number one contenders for the tag team titles.
Oh yes, that's something else to mention, isn't it? Yeah,
Breezango.
We are in the era of Jinder, aren't we? And Breezango are just another Jinder, aren't they?
Don't ever speak ill of Breezango.
Oh, for God's sake, Chris, come on.
Really?
Like, Tyler Breeze, I will admit, was good on NXT. Fandango, or whatever it was called before, was it Johnny Eve something Curtis, I think? Didn't even care about him on NXT. But they've just been treated like a joke for, 2 years or whatever it is, and you can't expect people to care.
You can't expect people to care about gender, but the way, I'll tell you what, the way they booked gender on SmackDown this week was the right way to book him.
Yeah, no, okay. Him driving away in that car with his little face, holding the title, just made me laugh so much. But he was such a dick, and I quite liked it.
Exactly, he was booked as a genuine threat to Orton, and he was booked like a star. I don't think anybody can really say it wasn't, because I was sold on that angle.
To be fair with Jinder, though, he is the size of a house now.
Did anybody see Ryback's comments on Twitter?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Go on, what did he say?
He said that's not just down to workouts and diets.
Well,
this is coming from
fair enough.
This is from Ryback.
Yeah, so somebody who knows, I would suggest. Yeah, I'm entirely convinced that Jinder has artificially enhanced himself.
I disagree.
With the weights, obviously. Come on.
I think that obviously helps him to be a bigger star because he looks the part. Breezango don't at all. Breezango have played such a joke gimmick for so long that who cares? Like, they're gonna have to really try hard to make people care.
Yeah, but we said this the same last week about Jinder as well. So it's dependent how they're booked from now till the chance where they get the actual title match, which again I think is going to be a backlash. But if they book him as a genuine threat to the Usos, then it's building up new people, it's building up new number one contenders. This is what people want, so I'm not going to complain until I see what actually happens out of it.
See, I thought you would complain because they've basically jumped above American Alpha.
I love American Alpha, but American Alpha's done pretty much nothing for the last maybe 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the tag team champions at one point in the last 2 or 3 months, but what were they actually doing with the titles? I don't think the titles were elevated by having them on American Alpha, and I love American Alpha. I think they're great. But I think it's going to be a better story again if they're maybe trying to chase the titles and they're going to come back next week and maybe saying that it should be theirs and they've got to fight and prove that they're better again. And it's the chase. So maybe they get a chance in a couple of months and they maybe win it back in a couple of months and people are maybe more behind them. I don't know, but yeah.
It is weird. It's weird to me that they're clearly the best tag team on the show, and
they are, but they've not been presented as such.
No.
So that does bother me, but I'm willing to see where they go with Breezango just to see if they can create new stars out of this tag team.
So Kev or Adam, out of the four tag teams on the shows, you had American Alpha, the Shooting Stars, whatever they're called, the Shining Stars, whatever they're called now.
The Colons.
The Colons, yeah. Breezango and the Ascension. Out of those 4 teams, who would you have picked to be the number one contender?
To be fair, none of them deserve it at the minute.
I would have picked the Ascension above anybody else.
Yeah, I was thinking the Ascension because they had this. I mean, we probably said this about on 4 episodes, but they had the potential to be something special.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a good look.
Yeah,
they look the part.
And they did have a gimmick in NXT that really worked as well. They've done a lot. I think I've said this before, but they've done a lot of video packages with the two. Well, it was Connor. They had Bram in there as well as one of the members. They actually had Epico was one of the members as well, and they had Raquel Diaz, which is Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
Yeah.
And they had videos and everything, and it looked really cool. If anybody wants to go back, they're on YouTube somewhere. Go and check them out. They really do look really good. But they've obviously changed it up a little bit. You've got to remember the SmackDown tag team scene, though. They've still got nudity come back.
Yeah, you're meant to be trying to get people more positive here, Chris, to be honest. That's not really helped.
Well, the new day is power of positivity. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
you negative bastards.
So that probably covers SmackDown. I think the one thing I do like about SmackDown at the moment is they are taking their time. Obviously, it helps that their pay-per-views are spread out, but they feel like they've got different writers. They feel like a completely different show to Raw, which SmackDown's a much easier watch every week.
Yeah, it is, without question.
It's a shame, really, because if they could have the same writers for both, I think Raw would be a much better show.
But it could just be as well because SmackDown's a 2-hour show.
Possibly, but there's more stories on there that I care about, and it doesn't matter how long the show is. It doesn't take much to write a story that people care about.
Yeah.
It's just it's weird though, because looking at their Backlash, it's Backlash, isn't it, on May the 21st? Looking at their card at the moment, it kind of feels weaker than Raw's, right? Because we said last week the Payback card actually looks pretty decent on paper, and the Backlash card doesn't.
But the Backlash card, it'll maybe look weak, but it'll be written better.
Exactly, which I'm more interested in seeing Orton and Jinder and the Usos and Breezango than I am some of the Raw matches, which is crazy, really.
It's weird, but again, SmackDown's a better written show, so I think you care more about those matches because of the way they've been booked and the way they're written. You guys might feel different, I don't know, but...
No, I agree with you there. It does look better for the way it is written and things.
So our next show then in a week will be our review of Payback. So I know we've been fairly negative this week about what's coming up, but
you say we.
Yeah, okay, me in particular, but I think all of us would say the show's been pretty hastily put together. No real sense of direction. I don't think so. It's pretty easy to be negative, but hopefully this time next week we'll be sitting there discussing a pretty good show, and it'll have won us all around again.
Well, I've got something that I've been asked to say in the show tonight because we never mentioned it in the Orlando review. Pretty much because none of us were there, but so we can't really talk about it. But I've been told to say that Evolve 80 was great. Apparently the match between Keith Lee and Ricochet was brilliant. They've done things that you can physically never expect, and the match gave goosebumps to some people. So I've been asked to say that, so there we go.
Well, thanks so much for that. So if you are getting slightly sick of WWE and you're as negative as me, you've got other shows to check out.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there, so go and check out Evolve 80 if anybody can.
Is anybody going to any shows this weekend? Or?
Yep, I've got ICW on Sunday. So they've got quite a good card, which we'll try and pull up in a second. But they've got Tyler Baton versus BT Gunn. They've got Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey for the ICW title. Matt Cross is scheduled to be there. Kenny Williams is meant to be there. Got quite a lot of good matches as well. So it should be quite a good night.
I've actually got a show on Sunday in London, the IPW one.
What time is that actually? Because Pete Dunne's advertised for that, isn't he?
He's not on the. He is actually. Sorry, yeah. There's So it's at 3 p.m. So the card is Jimmy Havoc and Tommy Dreamer. X-Pac is there, and Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, that'd be a good match.
And Jerry Ryan against Nixon Newell.
Okay.
Who else is there? Just quickly running down. So a couple of people I've never heard of.
Tommy Dreamer's.
What's that?
Tommy Dreamer's there?
Yeah, it's Tommy Dreamer and Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple of other people that I'm sure I'm meant to have heard of and I haven't. So that's their Extreme Measures show in Clapham on Sunday. So I can mention that again next week. Chris can cover ICW. So next week then, on this show, next Thursday, we'll be doing our Payback review, and we'll also be mentioning those shows, the ICW and IPW shows that we're going to as well. So
if Chris can remember the ICW show.
We'll be testing Chris's memory next week. So, right, so until next week, everybody. Until next week then, say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Don't forget to tune in next time for more fighting talk. Catch you next time.